nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
Guess what? The people come and play. I swear. How we the EPA with me? The song I want to get it right. My husband has edition and singing for people. What's that? You know, it's the one say we the mic is here. Say, na. We mo ta ko le ba. Ibo running behind.
It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. That who you came to rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you. Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you coming to rescue your people. Oh, that's why you to us. You even claim to even be the hero for your experience. But why you to us? So why the rest now stable? No job, no food to put on the table. No justice for the poor. Once you not get no money, rest and show your kids can't hold. No opportunity for the youth. Instead of helping body, breaking poverty on the youth. Tell me why the people vote you for. You treating the people I hate to say you not love. It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. That who you came to rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you was going to change things, but we not seeing changes. Promises you made you and your rescue team. We not seeing changes. You made the whole country divided into two. CDC and Unity Party, they can't conclude. You downsizing, you wish hunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. You downsizing, you wish hunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. Tell me who you rather give the rescue now. You and your rescue team. I say, oh, it's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. That who you came to rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. That's what yama 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 yama. Drama 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 drama. We gotta leave you all. Sama 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 sama. What you for? You treating the people I hate to say you not love. It's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. That who you came to rescue? You not give him the people what they want. Then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you was going to change things, but we not seeing changes. Promises you made you and your rescue team. We not seeing changes. You made the whole country divided into two. CDC and Unity Party, they can't conclude. You downsizing, you wish hunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people suffering. You downsizing, you wish hunting.
From a regime speaker to the speaker of the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia, Richard Nangbekun of District Number 11, Monserrato County, has been elected the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia. The nation Liberia is in the news after being a speaker for a couple of months. On today, his colleagues in a particular original session
not seeing changes.
in the main chamber of the House of Representatives
CDC and Unity Party.
took a decision to vote Richard Nangbe-Kun, the Honorable Representative of District Number 11,
People suffering.
to replace Jonathan Fonati Kofa, the former Speaker of the House.
Different people suffering. Tell me who you
This is the news in the country.
and your rescue team. I say, oh, it's a rescue.
43 votes to 26.
One question, now who you give the rescue?
Richard Nangbe-Kun won the election with 43 votes
People what they want.
against Musa Hassan Belete with 26 votes.
Mr. Rescue, the people say now.
Let me repeat.
Yama, 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 yama.
Musa Hassan Belete from the Citizens Movement for Change
Drama, 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 drama.
and Richard Nangbe-Kun from the Unity Party.
Sama, 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 sama.
Richard Kun of Montserrat County District 11 and Unity Party won with 43 votes against Musa Hassan Belete of Nima County District 7
The rescue.
and the Citizens Movement for Change, the CMC.
Ask you one question, now who you give the rescue?
And so Liberia is now with a new speaker.
The one day you say you give the rescue.
The country Liberia now has a new speaker,
The rescue, the people say now.
although the new speaker was our speaker last week.
Say you was going to change.
This is the country you have. This is Joe Boaka's Liberia.
Promises you.
But I want to say congratulations to you, the Honorable Richard Nangbe-Kun Bo.
You made the whole country diva.
Banave Township is officially with a speaker.
You downsizing. You wish haunting.
And so we can be proud now to say our township got a speaker.
Sizing. You wish haunting.
Before,
Now when they
we had a purported speaker. We had a retained speaker.
you now, you and your rescue.
But this time around, we can proudly say Banave Township is now boastful
I just wanna ask.
of a speaker of the Republic of Liberia.
You not give him the people what they want.
Our guest today on the first segment is Jacob Jala.
Mr. Rescue, the people say now.
Jacob Zuma Jala.
Yama, 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 yama.
Jala recently joined the CDC in Monrovia
Drama, 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 drama.
at the headquarters of the CDC in Congo Town.
Sama, 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 sama.
Jacob Jala became one of the newest members of the Congress for Democratic Change. What triggered his decision to join the CDC? What is he coming to the CDC with? Is he going to be an added value to the Congress for Democratic Change?
Question that who you give the rescue.
Is his decision personally influenced?
Then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask
Is he joining the CDC on a transfer aggression level?
you, say you was going to change.
Did he move to the CDC because the Unity Party is not having space for him?
You and your rescue team. Stay.
Is he in the CDC for good?
Country divided into two.
Is he on a mission in the
And
CDC?
they can't conclude.
What is it?
Sizing.
Why is he into the CDC?
When people suffering.
Why is he joining the CDC?
Now when they die, but they like it when people suffering.
Why did he join?
You rather give the rescue now.
Are there unexplained reasons for his crossover to the CDC?
I just wanna ask you one question. Now who you give the rescue?
The political commentator,
You not give him the people what they want.
the one who will always do political commentary using the footballing word,
People say now.
the ball buzz, the ball loss.
Yama, 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 yama.
Jacob Zuma Jala will be our guest here on 87.9.
Drama, 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 drama.
Alexa and I will hope to quiz him on too many issues
Sama, 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 sama.
right here on the People Station. But the biggest news in the country is the fact that the Liberian House of Representatives is now with a new speaker,
You one question that
a legitimate speaker, a constitutionally elected speaker,
then you say you give the rescue.
and that is what the Republic of Liberia always anticipated.
Unlike you.
We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we bring you our commercial partnership.
Inches.
We play you the commercial from our commercial folders.
We not seeing chinches.
These entities doing business with us.
See,
Crime Stoppers Liberia to Yanji in beer.
you downsizing.
I know a particular way Alexa would normally call this beer.
People suffering. You downsizing.
And later on, we bring you Liberty Fortune.
People suffering.
These are three prominent businesses doing business with Freedom Hub on 87.9.
It's a rescue.
As we are with Jacob Jala,
I wanna ask you one question.
we're going to continue accepting your cash giveaway.
You not give him the people.
While we keep giving people money, we'll be giving you 4,000 Liberian dollars on this Tuesday.
The people say now.
When you play star 799 star 11 hash.
Yama, 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 yeah.
And by the time you play, it will ask you how many times you want to play. You can select 4, 5, 6, depending on how much you have on your phone. A particular play will cost you 100 Liberian dollars, and when you are lucky, you will win $4,000. And so, with all of these plus many others, we're going to be running to our commercials. When we come back, we bring you the conversation here on 87.9 as we await Jacob Zuma and Jala. We take a break to be right back.
They can't conclude. You downsizing, you wish haunting. Now on the top of the Liberian people, this arrest. The people say not like you.
Before Ramstar for Liberia, from the center to interior. Ramstar, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all our Ramstar, the people bringing safety to your door. Ramstar, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Ramstar for Liberia, from the center to interior. Ramstar, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all our.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all our. Crime Stopper, the people bringing.
Okay, Crime Stoppers Liberia, the people bringing safety to your community. This is Liberia's #1 anti-mob non-governmental institution headed by Sam Cyan. He's our CEO. Alexa, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Oliver, and I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. However, when you're joining us, I would like to say welcome to Freedom Hub on 87.9 FM. Today it's an interesting day in the city of Monrovia, and I think across Liberia, basically, it is really an interesting moment. So, however you're joining us, we'd like to say welcome because we're going to discuss, exactly what's trending today. So, welcome.
All right, so basically we anticipate the arrival of Jacob Jala. If that doesn't happen in the next 10 minutes, we consider the appearance canceled. Then we move to other issues of national concern, especially the biggest news in the country. Yeah. So as we await Jacob Jala, Alexa, the elections were held on today. We now have a new speaker, a legitimate speaker. I want to listen to you. I want you to let us know what it is.
As I said, it is an interesting day. 100% it is. And I think today was anticipated to a greater extent, even though you had different perspectives from different people. I remember yesterday you predicted that maybe today there was not going to be any election, but then you also emphasized that sometimes political, prophecy are not always, as they should be. I don't know if I should say prophecy or not, but you said that yesterday. And just in case it did not happen, you say, well, then that's exactly where we are. So I think we saw something else happen today. And I'm sure a lot of people joined you yesterday to have had just that prediction that there wouldn't have been a speakership election based on what has happened or what transpired following the speaker's resignation, Speaker J. Fonati Kofa's resignation. But the fact that today we saw Capitol Hill, how it was different people's involvement, Musa Ability contested as well, Rachel Kun, of course. But I think the highlight of the day, it is not really from the folks of Capitol. It is not really the legislators. It is with citizens and the comical comments, being made across different social media platforms. And if you met maybe a Liberian citizen just a few minutes or a few hours ago, if you listened to some of the things, they had said to you, you would know how comical it is. So people, I'm just going to say what I heard from Al before getting here.
That's right.
Yeah. So there are people who are still saying they do not believe that Rachel Kun had to go back, and contest because he had already been presented as the speaker or purporting as a speaker, and he actually, owned that. So they did not think he would have gone back to contest, because according to him, he was already speaker. According to him, he had already won, the speakership. So that's one of the things, out there. That's one of the things people are saying. Also, people are wondering as to whether he was himself, why purporting to be Liberia's speaker. Also, people are saying some Liberians were right, and also journalists or propagandists or pundits were right when they referred to Rachel Kuhn as, a purported speaker and not the legitimate speaker of the House of Representatives, 55th, national legislature. So people are now coming to the realization that all of these things, all of those things that happened few months back, people were just there because they needed to have proven a point that we are in power, we have influence, we can do whatever we want. That's also one of the things being said out there by a lot of Liberians. But at the end of the day, I think what happened today, it is people are still wondering, because it seems like Oliver Alexa has told you, hey, I am maybe the CEO. And Alexa is not the CEO of Freedom Communications Incorporated, right? She has presented herself countless times as the CEO. And later on, maybe you have a free moment where the original CEO will be like, I'm resigning and I need someone to take over. And then Alexa gets back and Alexa says, hey, I want to be the CEO. So that's exactly what people are saying. You cannot marry a woman and go back and say, no, she's not my woman. It's more like, so people are saying what happened up Capitol today is like a renewal of vow. You've already married your wife or you've already married your husband, but now you're renewing your vows. So that's exactly the picture, out there. But it is really interesting. It is really comical. And here we are. I don't know if he will still refer to himself as the regime speaker. I'm sure we're going to talk about that. If our guest does not come, I'm sure we're going to expand, on that as well. But we're still anticipating his arrival. But that's what's out there, Oliver. Basically, I'm just speaking from what I got from young people, old people just before getting here. Like, it is all over, and people are talking. If you're on Facebook, go to Facebook anyway. But I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm talking about people, like real people, basic interactions. That's what I'm talking about. Not just someone sitting somewhere and writing. That's also an interaction, but I'm talking about me talking to people and just getting their views. And that's basically why this is an interesting day. And also, people predicted that you will still have Kuhn as the speaker at the end of the day, because that's one of the reasons, he had been puppeting as the speaker. So basically.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this in few minutes while we await Jala, who is not communicating as to why he is not on. We try to get to him later on, but I see this as a victory for our country, and I will also want the policymakers, especially those of us who say we go to school. I want us to stop allowing politics to undermine our sense of reasoning, because it becomes so unbearable when people who know sit quietly and allow lawlessness to happen. The good thing is the fact that Rachel Kuhn was able to resign. So Speaker Kuhn resigned yesterday, and by his resignation on yesterday, clearly meant victory for the rule of law. Because when former Speaker Kofa resigned, he said, I'm resigning to turn over to Deputy Speaker Thomas Falah, who, according to our rules, will be responsible to usher in a new speaker through a democratic process of elections. And fortunately for the lawmakers, that process was followed. It was a good thing that Speaker Kuhn resigned yesterday from being speaker and subjected himself today for speaker elections, won the elections, and became speaker again. So yesterday, Speaker Kuhn was a speaker. Yesterday, he stopped being speaker, and today he went back to being speaker. That is how interesting our country has become. But the good part of it is the fact that he is now the speaker, and so I will not call him the Bonneville representative anymore. He now deserves the wow what Joe Baka put behind him.
Are you now going to call him regime speaker too?
No, I mean, until he can come back to tell us he is still the regime speaker. But I think for now, he is the speaker of the Republic of Liberia because the constitution was followed. The law was adhered to. So at this moment, he is the speaker of the republic. Do I believe that he will lead the legislature to nobler heights? That is something for the honorable speaker to prove. I'm not going to wish evil against him. I'm not going to wish that he fail. I mean, that he will fail in the discharge of his speaker duties at the level of the House of Representatives. But it is upon him to realize that he is taking over a house that is deeply divided. And if care is not taken, the very lawmakers who were with him at RLJ, eating, sleeping, drinking, watering, whatever the case is, those very lawmakers could start to gang up against him if he doesn't treat the capital as an area that needs reconciliation and unity. Sometimes people say when somebody slap you, when you slap somebody rather, and you see the person fighting back, they're not cursing you. The person just wipe the slap, look at you in your face, and just decide to walk away and go. In my place I come from in Plibo, the people say when such a person chooses to do that to you, run behind them to beg them. And you put slapping somebody's ear, and you slap somebody's ears, the person then look at you, they went to play where you slap, they look at you again,
No worries.
they look at your slipper, they look at your ear, they lower your face, they move their face, they start going quietly. My country people, my younger people, then who from Plibo, the people say, in such a situation, your whole life you will live. When you come across that, run behind that person who you slap and call and say, I beg you. I beg you. Please. Although I slap you, but sorry. Let bygone be bygone. They say, be afraid of those people, then the man who when you slap him back. Because by the time you slap him and slap you back,
it's even.
If fini, you slap a man slap you back. Once you're going, if fini, that's fini. But you slap the man, how much you the man just wipe the play you slap and walk quietly is a problem. So, Honorable Cole, you are taking over the legislature that is heavily divided. A leader will first run to cement the relationship amongst the colleagues on the floor. If that is not done, you could have the power, you could have the office of the speaker, but the floor is going to be noisy. The floor is not going to be conducive. There will be a lot of undermining. A lot of things will happen, which I know you do not want to happen under your leadership. So the best way forward at this level is to reach out to the rest of the colleagues and say, gentlemen, the battle is over. The war has ended. We are all representatives. I am first amongst equals. I do not have everything all. I do not know it. I don't know it all. But what I think we can do is work together as a team. When you see this as winner takes all, if you take that approach to leadership, well, because you are the speaker and so everything will go to the majority bloc and your members and so forth, good. But sooner or later, the very majority bloc members, if you are not careful, if you are not going to lead in peace, if you're going to be leading in pieces, the very majority bloc members who got you to that place to do resolution rather than hard, they will go for one paper and start signing again. And so for me, I'm not going to say more on it. We look forward to Speaker Kuhn living up to his ability. If he is able to live in accordance with what the people anticipate, good. We're going to be watching. We want to see that manifest through the way he will handle the budget. We want to see the speaker committing himself to auditing the legislature, because that place has been corrupt for a very long time. Some of the reasons why we are told Speaker Kofa was fought was because he announced his intention to audit the legislature. We, the Liberian people, still think that legislature should be audited. We think it should be audited to the letter. Regardless of who's in charge of the speakership, we believe that that legislature should be audited to the letter. A lot of money went through that legislature that cannot be accounted for. So these are reforms we would think the speaker should start to think about. You know, and following his election, he wore a t-shirt with "the law is the law," and I like that approach. I mean, that was the famous slogan that was used by, you know, the former speaker's bloc. So did he wear that t-shirt as a means of provocating? I mean provocation? Did he choose to provoke the folks? Good. If that is the intent, it's bad. If he did that because he want to accommodate them, if he did that as a way of, maybe, look, gentlemen, I printed a t-shirt and plenty. See, you're using the law is the law. I got some like wear it. You know, if that was the case, granted. But if he was doing it to provoke the folks, I mean, it was not good. Once you win, leadership is the next thing that is required. So, former Representative Cool, no, he's still a representative though. Speaker Cool,
Former speaker, now speaker. Yeah.
so, look, I mean, let's look at it, right? Yesterday was Monday. Fanatikova resigned on Fanatikova resigned 12 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
12 May Day. So after 12 May Day on yesterday, Richard Kuhn was speaker.
Wow.
So after Kofa resigned 12 o'clock on yesterday, Speaker Richard Kuhn resigned as speaker. So from 12 p.m. yesterday up till around 1 o'clock today,
1 p.m.
1 p.m. he was not speaker. Then after the election, he then became speaker. The same today. So yesterday he was speaker. The same yesterday he was not speaker. Today he was not speaker, and today he became speaker. So speaker. So it's speaker, not speaker, speaker.
Yeah.
Come on. So yeah, speaker, not speaker, not speaker, speaker.
That's a joke.
But that's the country. That is the country we have.
That's a big fact.
Now there are concerns that are being raised in the public. The former speaker was deprived of his speaker benefits for 8 months, close to 8 months. All through that period, current speaker Richard Kuhn was serving as the purported speaker, receiving the benefits and entitlement of the speaker while we had a legitimate speaker. The mere fact that Richard Kuhn resigned on yesterday clearly shows that he was never the speaker in the first place.
And that's my point. He was never.
Richard Kuhn is 4 hours old. He is Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, 4 hours old. If you go back to the capital, if there is any picture there for Richard Kuhn, let the people say Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, May 13 to present. Hello, Alexa? That is what his profile should read. The days before May 13, he was never Speaker of the House.
So that's my other concern.
So Kofa deserves all of his benefits as the Speaker at that time, because you have somebody purporting in his space who ate his money, and that is a violation of our laws. If somebody is taking pay from the Ministry of Finance as the President of the Republic of Liberia when President Baka is sitting down to your house, that is impersonating. Somebody said, hey, in some kind of country, they will sue Richard Kuhn. They will sue the speaker, although he is now speaker. But somebody said in some other country, they will sue him for acting in a role that he was never supposed to act in. And the evidence to that case is the fact that he resigned.
Because if you were speaker, you wouldn't have resigned.
If you were speaker after Kofa resigned, you would say, "Look, but Kofa, why are you resigning for? I wasn't Amuyu. Why are you resigning?
So
why are you resigning? I wasn't Amuyu. Why are you resigning?" If he was speaker, he would not have gone to new election. The mere fact that he agreed to subject himself to a brand new process following the resignation of former Speaker Kofa shows that he was never legitimate. And so the illegitimate money that he took belongs to somebody who was legitimate, and let that money be given to the person, let the benefits be given to the person. That is what the law is. It's good that he wore the t-shirt with the inscription, the law is the law. So we are hoping that he is going to live in accordance with the law. Somebody said, Richard Kun, the way you speak on now, if for the one human being go and they say we'll go sit down in the John Chamber, or we'll go sit there, or we'll go sit down G.W. Gibson campus, we don't want you to be our speaker. Just the way you did for Nati, how will you feel? My response to that is no 41 should disturb the country anymore. If you cannot have 49, don't try Richard Kun. Once you can have 49 to confront Richard Kun in the original chamber, don't do any coup. Because former Speaker Kofa has already set that precedence, which was affirmed by the Supreme Court of our country. It clearly spelled out the processes leading to removing a speaker. So those of you who brought Kun on board, he won with 43 votes, right? And 26, against, one person abstained. There are 3 lawmakers who are out of the country on different things. I think Steve Tikwa is in India, Austin Taylor is in America, and other people. The day you got problem with Richard Kun, please, we beg you, the representative. The day you got problem with Richard Kun, I don't say I'm going to get problem with him. The day you ain't want the same way you never went there, Kofa. Please, before you start that noise, yeah, I mean, so 5 o'clock we'll have him. Yeah, 5 o'clock we'll have him. Yeah. So if I repeat, if you ever desire to replace Richard Kun, please, if you do not have 49, don't bring that information to us. Wait until you have a 49 before we can run to anything of such, because we do not want any distraction in this country anymore.
Yeah, as much as we do not support,
we don't support anything about removing speaker.
Let me say what I want to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as much as we do not support lawlessness, we have been here, over the past months, just talking about respecting the Constitution of Liberia. We still cannot say there wouldn't be thoughts. I'm not saying we're going to support it, but that is something that's happened before. So if it will be repeated, I mean, we're still going to be able to discourage it, though. But we cannot trash it.
No, we can't stop
that. Exactly.
But I'm saying, right? I'm just saying, so, as a caveat, because Alexa, come to think of it, it doesn't make sense, right?
It doesn't make sense.
You already have a rule that says you should have 49 before you remove a speaker. You go to where you get 39 persons, you get 40 persons. And you be damned because you have 40 over 30 something, and obviously you say you are the majority, and you want no.
Remember, you said something I think a few weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
If you have people who are supposed to respect the law, people who are supposed to enforce the law, and they are disregarding their responsibility to, enforce the laws or to make sure Liberians will respect the law, and they continue to break the laws, you will have people to just follow similar path. And they'll be like, no, nothing is going to happen because we've been here. We've seen people do that and nothing actually happened to them. Like Richard Kun, for example, we saw exactly how he acted in Liberia. We saw exactly how he purported to be Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. And here we are, in as much as Kofa stood, Kofa fought, here he is now legitimately as the Speaker. Will he be punished for exactly purporting as the Speaker? No, I'm not sure that is going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
It is not going to happen, exactly. So if Liberia is now an interesting country where people will follow leaders who are supposed to set examples, and now they're seeing bad examples, you never tell what's going to happen. So all we can say to you, do not think about that, because it is going to stall us again in Liberia. Things that are supposed to happen and how the government should run, that will not actually happen, because you will have us again being focused on maybe another saga that will be happening that wouldn't be really something that will benefit Liberia, and that's not what we want. But I mean, most of the things that are happening before, they're all history, and there are some of the things that will be repeated. And the things that happened just a few days ago or today again, of course, Liberia has witnessed that. You had different speakers to have resigned, and you had new elections. But I don't know if the COFA and Richard Coons saga actually happened where someone said I'm speaker and that person resigned and that person contested again to occupy the same position that said they were already occupying. So that's how interesting it is. So all we can say, do not actually try to do something like that, because you saw how Liberia was and how affected different sectors were based on how the legislature did not pay more attention to different sectors in our country because they were focused on their own problem of capital. So it is really a bad thing. And let's continue to promote, lawful acts in Liberia. Let's continue to tell people to respect the Constitution.
Okay, so we'll take a few calls on it. Our guest is already in the building. Jacob Jala, the big stick man, is in the building. He joined the CDC recently. We want to know why did he join? What is his mission? Is he on a transfer aggression spree? Did he go to the Unity Party? They didn't give him job, so he's back to the CDC. Is he in the CDC with his heart? What is it? What is it from his end? Those are questions plus many more. Elesa and I will be asking when we play host to Jacob Zuma Jala, the big stick man here on 87.9. But let's take few of your calls right now. Let's take few of your calls as we go through the lines. Quickly, remember, star 799 star 11 hatch will give you sufficient money. I repeat, sufficient money, and we'll be giving people 4,000 Liberian dollars on the edition. Let's talk to this first person. Hello, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly. No time.
Thank you, God. Let me say hello to say Eleza.
Hello.
This is the official spokesperson for the Liberian Civil Movement.
We have a new speaker.
What we are saying in our country, I got history itself by repeating itself. This is what we're seeing now is wrong in our country. We have people, we're our country under hostage. Then today they are electing those, and we want to make the law. But can the lawmaker, our representative, they are just together that I was saying today. Their house was a house of honorable. What we're saying today is that hey, rule of law have been violated. And what we are saying is though Kun is a speaker now, but what we saw 1 year plus time, there is no new law that have been made. Nothing has been reviewed. Companies like I go helping our people, doing wrong to our people, and nobody to see it because we have one speaker issue. But no problem, like what will go on. Thank you all so much.
Okay, we leave you right there. We leave you right there, my dear brother. Let's focus on more of the issues. Jacob Jala is our guest in the next couple of minutes. Let's talk to this person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
I'm fine. My name is Joseph. I told you for my McDonald Street resident.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to tell the past speaker on the Fokofa, thank you for playing a leadership role and ability. And I want him to be in that house to watch and see, let him do the work. I want to thank you so much. And thank you, the Freedom Every Family.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. We'll take the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute quickly. No time. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the voice of Idrissa Soba.
Go ahead, Idrisha. Let's hear you, my brother.
Yeah, that's a sad time for our nation.
Richard Kun is speaker. You call it sad time? What kind of man this?
It's a sad time because Richard Kun is a renegade guy.
But
my brother.
he just won democratically, though.
That guy is that means an interesting character. That is sincere to the Liberian people. You look up, Mr. President, one guy. You spoke with it. That's why I think Fokofa decided to resign because his people were suffering. That's just a bad message. The women humiliated our people. All of the lawmakers who stood by the side of the law. You getting me, guy?
I hearing you?
It's sad for our nation. That's why I'm saying it's just a sad time. What kind of puppet master has damaged our nation?
Okay.
Let's speak truth to power. What we bury our head and say that you did by the boss. We call up people who will bury their feeding, they bury their head and say, no, will tell the speak to power, my brother.
Okay, thank you.
Why orchestrated all of these things? Why can't
Okay.
they orchestrated to pay people to look nothing but wage? But we will Funati is the man.
Okay.
Yeah, Funati is my hero.
Okay, we'll leave you right there. Let's talk to the other person. Go ahead quickly. No time. Let's hear you quickly.
Gang, this is David King.
Go ahead, David. Let's hear you. We have our guests already in studio. Quickly, go ahead.
Kanye, I want to recommend the government. If not all this government believes in the rule of law, as claimed by President Weah, President Weah, claimed by Mr. Bwaka. You see, Mr. Bwaka.
But why you say President Weah? You not say President Bwaka? What's that?
No, it was a slip of tongue. I'm so used to President Weah, and whenever I want to refer to the presidency of this state, I refer to President Weah first. But it was a slip of tongue along the way. But let's get to the core issue.
You still did not answer my question, but go ahead quickly. Continue.
You see, the issue with Mr. Bwaka, he being a violator of our laws, all of the laws on the book. For me, I am not surprised of Mr. Bwaka's leadership. I saw that with the CPB. Before the CPB, I saw it with the United Party.
But all of that is over now. The people already elected their speaker.
Yeah, you brought Representative Nagwe Kong for this 11 Monserrat County as your speaker. Now, all of the benefits that he got, the budget that he passed, these were all illegal and they validated the Supreme Court ruling. But then why did people waste our time when they knew that what they were doing, it was not in conformity with law, and they continued to proceed that route because Mr. Bwaka is a lawbreaker and they made it like people to get exhausted. So now they should come back to tell us the reason why they asked Samuel Kuga to sit in the chair for the George Chimo at Karen City Hall, and they landed up fighting that they came on and played, and they started pointing accusing figure. What happened to the investigation?
Okay.
They should be able to tell us if people they bought for America, the money they gave them to tell us about whatever that took place there.
Okay, all right. Okay, David King, sorry about that. We had to cut you off. We took you for sufficient time. Let's leave you right there. It is about time that we have our guests come to studio. Ruth, please bring our guests to studio. Let's talk to this person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, this is Edmond Carr, visually impaired guy keeping this president feet to the fire to do. No, Oliver, that is not what we call rule of law or follow. No. You cannot tell me, Oliver, that Richard can't follow the law. You cannot follow the law only because of interest.
The man is now speaker.
No, but that's an interest. All along here, almost 6 or 7 months, you are purported here to be speaker, driving convoy, only because the legitimate speaker said, let me do it for the sake of the Liberian people. Then you go, you resign the next hour, then the next hour you are into the election to contest. The only way we will accept that as that Richard will follow law later when he declared all the budget purchases illegal and recast and redo that budget. That is only way we'll say, oh yeah, he started on the right path. In his acceptance speech or in his inaugural speech, he should have mentioned that. But as long as Richard didn't do that, that means nothing called law, because the law cannot be self-law. No, it should be in the interest of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was the one. Now you can't, nothing so when I refer to it as Richard followed the law. No, it was because of his interest that he followed yesterday. But to conclude, my disappointment is with the Musa Ability Group. They were never supposed to be in the election. What they should have done early this morning, they should have filed motion at the Supreme Court to put a stay order on the election until some of these ticket issue can be resolved. But for them to participate in that election, it was difficult that you could have won that election. No way. They may have built a cartel over the 7 months, and the government is supporting it. So you could have been very, very difficult. So what they should supposed to do to go to Supreme Court and put a stay order on the election until some of these ticket issues can be resolved.
Thank you.
Now it is over. I know the horse can never settle. It will not settle until the 6 year of Bwaka is over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Edmond Carr, we'll leave you right there. Ruth, let's try to establish contact. Let our guests come in. this person. Let's hear you quickly. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you, kind. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to your co-host.
Hello.
Thanks always for the privilege given me. This is Hussein. I'm Hussein Kewu. I call from Jacobstown, district number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so kind of like I said on one of your sister programs, I said nobody have won the speaker's election. It is democracy that have won in our country.
No, Richard Kun won. Don't say
Yes,
nobody
I
won.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, individually he won as speaker. That I know.
Mm-hmm.
But we all opted to see this day coming true. We all advocated that there should be an election after the resignation of former Speaker Kofa.
But you, when we were arguing that there should be an election, you were arguing that we already had a speaker and there was no need that we have an election.
No, sometimes people don't really get my point. Sometimes when I call him a disagreement, I've never supported Speaker Kun and being majority speaker. I've always recognized former Speaker Kofa because I am a student of service.
Who's in Kewu today? You talking to me? I've never heard you say that anywhere.
I'm on record. Check all of my interaction. Not even on your show, on the sister show, King's FM, OK and other radio station. I've always acknowledged as Kofa as the constitutional speaker of the 55th. All my friends know, even my friends in the Unity Party acknowledge that, right? So they have gone to election and they have decided the speaker they want to work with, the person who they confident and trust in, who's the speaker, Richard Nangwe-Kun. What we need to do now, and I think you also have to see how you can recommend, is the issue of reconciliation. That is the key.
You telling me to recommend reconciliation? Did you listen to my show? Did you listen to what I was saying from the initial stage?
Yes, I know you will call for reconciliation, but you have your friends like Jason Sibo, like the other guys who you close to the Abu Bana Kamara.
Oh, Jason Sibo is my friend? What made you think Jason Sibo is my friend?
This is not your friend, I know, So those are your friends that you can talk to see how best they can work with the speaker because he was elected.
But the speaker too has the responsibility to go and unite this country. And the same thing you made Joe Bangala be doing here. No, listen.
Right?
So he has that burden as the leader to unite the legislature. I mean, that is his role. He's the leader right now.
You're right. So this is why these days when I call you from the office of the chairperson of the executive, because he was appointed today as the chairperson of the executive.
You in Honorable Segu kind of office?
No, I said when I call now, I will call from the office of the chairperson of the executive.
My man, your show, you know the party, your show. We leave it right there. We'll talk to this person quickly. Then we bring our guests in. We're trying to establish contacts with folks out there. I don't know why. Go ahead. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
This is Ebenezer Weston Wisha, one of Liberia legitimate owner that joined you from Central Virginia.
Go ahead, my dear.
You know, my brother, what took place today is the legitimization of gross illegality. And how your co-host Alexa asking what become of the action that were taking on the regime speaker. Those are all illegal actions. They have finally succeeded in legalizing it, making it legitimate now. There will be no investigation. Let it be new year that those people burn that Capitol building just because of their desperation. They took our money, share it among themselves, sat down in hotels and did all sorts of funny things here illegally. They could have been put into and brought on the spotlight, condemned and prosecuted. But all that thing now is charade. It cannot hold again. It that legitimize all of their illegal actions by the identical thing. But my question here is, how would the diplomatic community feel about us, Kai? How would the international community feel about us? These people are following all of these things that are happening around here. Let me tell you, this thing that we just did, I say we because the people that we elected there, that our job is supposed to be doing. What we just did today, it makes us to prove that we are unserious. They think when I bring one investor here, they think when I have anybody on our country, it will not go us down the deep of reproach. Thank you for the time, man.
Okay, thank you very much, Ebenezer Snosio Weston Wisa from Virginia. Let's keep calling. Okay, our guest is coming. Jacob Zuma Jala will be here. He just joined the CDC. He will talk tough today. We will ask him some tough questions. But keep playing *799 *11 hatch. When you win, we will call you and get you 4,000 Liberian dollars. Let's talk to this person quickly. Go ahead. 1 minute. How are you?
Okay.
How are you, sir? Go ahead. 1 minute.
This is the voice of PSI that join you from Sokola District.
Go ahead.
This was just a move. It was a fast. There was nothing there called for speakership. Now, if we got it over by Thomas Fala, who is Thomas Fala in the first?
They been a deputy speaker.
Okay, deputy speaker. There was completion in the whole portion of the constitution, right? The never part of the constitutional coup against the city speaker, right? If we got it over on election. But let me sound this clearly. There will be a time for accountability. A new sheriff will come to town that will be placed in the door to account for whatever they are doing. Watch out, beware.
Okay.
That time when you account, people who are taking criminal money and there are two nomenclature that happening. Money laundering and power laundering. Those guys are taking getting money and getting power, and they are trying to legitimize.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll leave you right there. We'll take Man CC and go for a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the big stick man. Somebody was asking on social media if the stick is still existing. Man CC, you are live. Go ahead. Good afternoon.
Thank you, my son. Okay, we say hi to Alexa also. And just call it. This is Man CC, the general on the line.
Go ahead.
What I want to say, thank you to my brother, my friend, my oldest brother, Francis Kofa. You know, for fighting or fight. And today you are come to end. I'm not going to bring Kofa. Why you want to resign? No, let Kofa resign. Kofa, they all get better to do here. The police, they stood their ground for the rule of law, and they go and rule. So if he resign today, I want to say thank you to him. But today, what you saw at the beginning today, they ran to anybody here. So the whole time is quiet.
Okay.
What will change today in this country? They will see they will land in this country. There's no job. We say okay. You bring cool. Now see your job. If they do better right here, and you say you're voting for cool, what will change? Nothing will change. Nothing will change in the country. We think we are getting comforted and forgetting rich and money ourselves. Thank you. The money will give you a person therapy for one person. He will leave them going on a place. No guys lie to all the time. Guys find that job. People show them. What people they pay okay? They see for the tree. They see for the tree. They don't lie all the place. We get to make sure we get 100. So they want to. You saw it today, we got people, few guys will say everything today, but the one for there is silent, the one for there is quiet because they are angry. When I forget today, I can not ready. So they cool people in the country, it just is nothing for us.
Okay.
You are going to in bed.
Thank you, Man CC. We'll leave you right there. Let's say we got to take a break. When we come back, we join the CDC newest member. Yeah, he's the newest man to join the CDC. Let's take this quick break to be right back on 87.9.
Yes.
Peewee?
Yes.
What all the happiness for now?
Yama. The thing are making some of our friends in other countries can be building houses and sending their children to Google schools. Now come to Liberia, yeah?
What's that?
They got one Liberian company called Liberty Fortune.
Liberty Fortune?
Yes. This company bringing one game they call Liberty Fortune Scratch and Win game.
And how people can play this game?
Very easy. Buy their ticket and scratch the silver part on it. Just to see where you can do the scratch card. Then any money you see on it is for you. You can win different amount of money, all the way up to 10,000 USD.
So you mean when I buy Liberty Fortune scratch card and build the silver part, any money there is for me?
Yes, and you only need just $1 USD on the same money LD to play and win.
But where I can get a Liberty scratch card from?
Go to the shops. Go to the boys who selling scratch cards and tell them that you want Liberty scratch card. Pay, scratch, and win. And then you take the winning card to their office at the Don's residence on 2nd Street, Topman Boulevard in Cinco for your money.
Peewee, thank you for this life-changing game. Liberty scratch card, we for it every day.
Spend small money and win big money. A message from Liberty Fortune LLC, the new game changer in Liberia. Oh yeah.
Use your time well. Waka.
All right, so welcome back to Freedom Hub on 87.9. My name is Kime. Princess Alexa Vanjakoli is also here. We have Jacob Jala, who recently, is it recently? Yesterday. Jacob Jala on yesterday was at the campus. They will call it the CDC headquarters in Congo Town. He went there to join the CDC. So we now have him in studio in his yellow shirt. I thought he would have been in one blue shirt, the CDC color, but he's wearing yellow. Jacob, good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. It's an honor to connect again. I think this is my second time around. So, yes, now I'm here as a new man, member of the CDC.
Member of the CDC.
Yep.
The last time you came here, you came as one person who was very supportive of the CDC's agenda. You were part of the policy team, explaining the policies of the PROPO agenda. You were, always seeing around the place, navigating, talking about what the CDC was doing, what the challenges, the prospects were. Then today, you are now a CDCian. Yesterday, you went to the headquarters. They gave you a beret. They gave you a CDC, a whole paraphernalia package.
Yes.
Why did you join the CDC?
Well, I think my journey of the CDC is clearly in line with a new evolutionary period in Liberian history. And I think we are in very, very decisive times. If you look at the full flow of history and where we've come, I don't want to go into, decades upon decades of Liberian history, but basically we know that, we had crisis, we had war, 14 years of war, and the war carried on until the 2000s. And that period was a very depressing time for this country and its people. We completely annihilated our infrastructure. Many people were killed. A lot of people went to exile. So it was a very, very difficult period. I call it the period of the Great Slaughter, and an unfortunate period of Liberian history. But of course, the population took a decisive turn in the 2000, maybe in 2005. And the conclusion was very clear that the path towards the future of this country that was decided in 2005 by all stakeholders has to be democracy. Okay. It has to be vote, has to be civil liberty, has to be the rule of law. Mm-hmm. And if you want political power, you have to enter the political arena, in the democratic arena, and make your case. So that's we drew the line in the sand there. That moving forward, no violence, democratic debate and democratic dialogue. So that's the path we took. And the CDC, as a popular people's movement, was birthed out of that negotiation, out of that discussion, out of that consensus as a country. Okay. So now, 2005, fast forward 2025, it's about 20 years, 2 decades.
Good.
And 2 terms of a unity party government, 12 years, the CDC, of course, 6 years, and now the unity party have a third, almost I could say a third term mandate.
Okay.
So by 2029, the UP will have had close to 18 years of domination at the helm of political life in our country. Now, I just drew a balance sheet and say, okay, let's look at the evidence. Let's look at where we are as a country, as a society. Are we a prosperous society today? Many Liberians will say, yeah, we've made good progress. We have a democracy, there's free speech. We have made progress here and there on the soft side, on the governance side, but on the side of transformation in our living standard as a prosperous society, many people say, we're not quite sure about that. We have issues around employment. We have many structural challenges in our country. Living standards remain low. Our infrastructure remain challenging. Electricity access, road access, all these real issues, that will reflect in people's lives. Because I would say the acid test of democracy is its ability to fill empty stomachs. So in the final analysis, people will draw conclusions around the value of this democratic period on its ability to create jobs and improve people's living standards. So now, 2025, I arrived at a conclusion that we are entering the next chapter of Liberia transformation.
Okay.
We've done a lot, fixing infrastructure, PFN regulation, reforming fiscal policy, the central bank on the economic side, trying to do some work in infrastructure, all of that. Good work. The CDC contributed to that. Ambassador we are in the CDC made great progress, reform, all sorts of reform. The party did their part. But now I'm saying now that we need an upgrade. We're stepping into a new future. And the new future we're stepping into, my conclusion is that only the CDC, at least at this point, carry the potential as a party, as a mass-based party, as a revolutionary party. Only this party, I suggest at this point, carry the potential, carry the energy, carry the understanding, carry the openness and the humility required to take this country into the next prosperous future.
Why not? Why not the Unity Party?
Now, good question. This is my analysis and this is my suggestion. I think the Unity Party is a conservative party. I don't think they're a revolutionary party.
Why?
Conservative party means in the sense where I think they're stuck in their old ways. Now,
what are the ways?
Yeah,
not having Jacob Jala into their cycle, not wanting you to be one of those who will be the movers and shakers. Is that what you refer to as being conservative?
No, so that's not it.
Okay.
So let's assume they call Jacob Jala in the fold, for example, give you a piece of work to do, give you one car, salary, blah blah blah.
Good.
Even if a Jacob Jala here then goes on board, for example, on the side of the Unity Party, there will still be a conservative party. It doesn't matter whether they included me or they include me.
What would you want them to do?
So my thing is that I think their approach is dysfunctional. So it has nothing to do with bringing one individual or removing another individual. I think it has to do with the whole foundation of understanding.
Okay.
I think the approach of the Unity Party is dysfunctional. I don't think it's creative and dynamic enough to take the country to the next level. And I keep talking about the next level. I probably will come to that to explain what that next level is. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, it's a conservative party. I think because of that conservative nature, they're a closed party. And because they're closed, I think they don't have the degree of openness and flexibility and dynamism required.
Okay.
To introduce this new understanding, new consciousness that will take Liberia again to the next level. And therefore, I think the CDC has that potential, has that opportunity, because these conversations are going on already. For example, Josh Manawia, he's opened up this dialogue within the party to say, look, we're here, we've contributed here, over this period, but now we have to ask a clear fundamental question: where do we go from here as a party? So, I mean, an individual has to be open.
You are requesting for the Unity Party to be a revolutionary, institution, unlike what you will refer to as being conserved in their actions.
Yes.
Now, what's your plain definition? I want us to go back to this because they're running the country. They have their RS agenda that they've carved already.
Yes.
They're working towards it. According to them, agriculture, rural tourism, the tourism, authority was just approved by the president and so forth. They're moving in their own way. They may not be implementing what the proper agenda for development and prosperity was. I mean, they're operating in a different development model. So why do you want them to act like seditions when they are not seditions?
Yes. So the so-called new development model is only new in name.
Okay.
It is not new in action and in purpose. Right?
You think so?
Say that, yeah. My expertise is in development. So I've read their RES agenda. I've read I've seen the Minister of Finance agenda. I've seen the budget. I've seen the direction of travel. It's obvious. I made a point the other time, and somebody see the criticism of the current finance minister. I don't think his approach to the economy is what is required to move this economy to the next level that is able to produce jobs and create industrial growth and transformation, so that all these 85% of the population remain unemployed or underemployed. So we have to be able to introduce something dynamic and creative that will unlock that potential and bring people back into the fold. Now, I want to make a contrasting point here so that I think that will set some kind of baseline as we move forward. If you look at like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, right? The structure for and the way our economic life was designed as a country. For example, if I was making this argument like 10 years ago, for example, to the finance minister and tell him, say, look, excuse me, sir, your plan for the economy is not creative enough. It will not create a job that we would need. It will not expand the economy sufficiently enough to get more of these young people into productive employment. It will not be the prosperity that we want. Now, that particular finance minister will have a very valid argument against me and say, okay, Chico, I can understand you probably doing wishful thinking, but ultimately we want to do that. We want full employment in the economy, we want jobs, we want income for children, we want improved education. We probably want that. But we really can get that now if we don't fix the foundation. So the person will say, okay, we need a PFM regulation, reform, blah, blah, blah. That has happened, right? We've done the PFM laws, we've set up a new revenue authority, we've set new fiscal rules, we've set up new institutions.
Those are governance issues.
Yes. So the thing I'm making is that we've done that.
Okay.
But if you look at the current policy or the direction of the Unity Party, it's more of the same we did 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're applying a medication, you're applying a prescription to an illness that no longer exists. We have a new illness, right? We have a new challenge. And the Unity Party is still stuck in that old challenge. That old challenge cannot solve the new challenge that we have.
What's the difference between what you suspect that they are doing and what the CDC government that you supported 6 years ago, who did when they had the power?
Yeah. So okay, if we want to start looking into the CDC performance, then there's another show there. We can say I can do a whole list of things.
Just on the summary, because the Minister of Finance under the CDC era, Minister Twe, we have had him on this radio and several other platforms, and he would normally say Liberia's problems are structural challenges.
Yes.
We have issues with the roads, issues with electricity, issues with agriculture, technology and so forth. Until those things can be addressed adequately, the issue of job creation would not be realized. Agriculture will still find challenges because there will be no roads to go to the forest always able to do the stuff. Now the rescue government, to their credit, one will say they're making some progress in opening some of the roads across the country. They are trying to work towards the energy sector for the very first time in this country under their administration, because we have had relative, a stable current. They've managed to solve the problem that was confronting the energy sector to an
official stable current. Let's be clear. Recently, we have a whole dry season. We have big troubles. I need maybe a few.
So technically, one could say they are now picking up to address some of those structural issues that the very Minister Samatua, who you worked with before, was addressing. So the thing you are now fair with him.
Let's be clear. We cannot work on the structural issue of this country for the rest of our life.
What then we do?
No, the point now. Let's come back a little bit, right? Structural issues. I agree. I worked around with the Minister of Finance, and he was dealing with some of those issues that were left over by the previous government, for example, after 12 years.
Okay.
Most of those structural issues should have been addressed and solved. Enough time was given for 12 to fix them.
Okay.
They were left over. Mr. Twe and Joshua picked those problems or try to hammer those problems down and solve it. Now, that process on macroeconomic reform, IMF regulation, the World Bank, all of that happened.
Okay.
And even at the end of Minister Twe's tenure as Minister of Finance, they remember one of the last spring meeting he attended. He was very clear. He said it. He said, look, we cannot remain stuck in this model. We have to move forward, right? Yeah, we cannot keep trying to solve one problem for ages. We have to move forward. So I'm suggesting here, for example, that didn't happen if the CDC had won the elections, for example. I will be one man will be sitting down with the citizen, and I will quite bar some of the argument about the excuse around the structural issue. That would have been time to really move the ball forward down the field and begin to solve the real issues we have to deal with now. So that's the past, right? That's the past. We can come here and try to adjudicate the past. Who did that? You know, had 12 years, CDC has 6 years, the propagandization and all that kinds of thing. That I don't know whether that's a productive dialogue, but because what I'm saying here, and like I said at the city here quarter, I was intending to what I call launch and announce something I refer to as the new Magna Carta.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is 12 years has happened. The Unity Party is in power. A lot of blunder is happening. We can go into some of that if we want to. But I'm saying, where do we go from here as a country? Can the Unity Party take us to the new level? And when I talk about the new level, let's take, for example, the economic strategies that they have. These strategies are not job producing.
Okay.
They're not. And I talk about the Minister of Finance. We're still trying to do policy fixes here and there, something we've done like over 15, 16 years ago. I want to see an industrial strategy for expanding the economy. They don't have that.
It will take us back to the structural issues.
Yeah, but no. So this is the magic here. The government actually take out more excuses. right? Because it's easier for the Minister of Finance when he gets comment on the matter and he just with the structural issue.
Because the thing about it is that, I mean, your criticism may be right.
So okay, let's come to the structural issue. So what is the approach right now with the government in charge on addressing those structural issues?
You can industrialize the country when a legislature will continue to remain a challenge.
Yeah. So my question is, let's investigate now the approach on addressing that structural issue.
Of recent,
that approach, the approach, I can put the approach is go to Conakry, ask for 30 megawatts of electricity.
Okay.
That's a quick fix. It is not the solution. Absolutely.
The LEC boss of recent made a declaration that he's providing a plant, a solar plant that will complement what we have at the Bourgeois plant and McCoffey, including what's coming through the COSG line. Don't you see that as great steps, in the right direction towards solving the energy issues?
Okay. So he made an aspirational statement.
Okay.
I'm not impressed by aspirational statement. I want to see in concrete, clear terms, where we're going.
Okay.
Now, bringing electricity, I would say that any day, the LEC managing director is here, I would tell you that's a car crash strategy.
You think so?
Of course. Bringing electricity from Guinea. We've tried to CLSG team bringing electricity from Africa. It hasn't quite worked out.
Okay.
We've been doing it for several years.
That's why he's trying solar.
Yeah, but because that approach does not create energy independence, it makes it reliable on another party. You cannot build a prosperous economy on somebody giving you an electricity from a broader country. We need to be able to domesticate energy production and generation, all of that. So my thing is, what would be for me an aha moment from the government is to lay down before me and say, look, this is our approach towards energy dependency, for example. The total cost of this investment in electricity is $300 or $400 or $500 million.
Okay.
This is our plan. This is our bankable strategy. This is the financing for it. I want to see that later. I want to see, for example, you have capital investment and you invest in big infrastructure to deal with this problem. Don't tell me you're depending on goodwill for Conakry.
Okay.
You cannot run an economy on that. A vibrant economy that needs to run 24 hours that needs to be prosperous.
Are you considering the size of the budget, the issue of a priority with reference to the budget size in all of these things you're calling for?
So that would be another lazy excuse. We have the budget size. It is the responsibility of the government to solve that problem, right? So, for example, if you have infrastructure projects that you need to invest in,
okay,
the size of the budget cannot accommodate that. That will not make you government. So what is the opportunity for private investment, for private capital? You have to find a solution. I'm sorry, I can't take excuses from a government because you have all of the tools required to deal with the problem. And I'm saying that we've seen countries, other jurisdictions who have taken up some of these big challenges, attacked them and solved them. But a further part of my argument is, no, this government, the United Party government, will not be able to deal with these challenges really drastically, clearly, with this current mindset or the current level of consciousness. Because for me, everything that we try to do externally must first find its foundation in the inside.
Okay.
Right? Because the approach even on the political level of this United Party towards addressing it is already faulty. So if you start it from a faulty beginning, yes, inevitable that your outcome will be faulty. It's clear. It's a law. So, say for example, on the political level, the United Party, take for classic example the legislature, the whole saga around the speakership, KOFA, and all of that. We saw that since this function manifested, typical example there. The United Party is not open enough.
Okay.
They still believe that, okay, we are a united party and the CDC people are that way. So what do we need to do? And they're very insecure. We are insecure about our political future in 2029.
Okay.
So let's start doing this and that political subterfuge and maneuvering here and there.
Say that's
so start to get the CDC or the opposition so that we can substantiate our political future. Now, that consciousness, from that understanding, you cannot change the country. You cannot transform the country. I can take a bet here now and we'll come back 5 years from now.
Is that why you left the fence? Because from your argument, I see you branding the Unity Party as that party that is not welcoming. They are not accommodating a lot of different ideas. In as much as you are not from the Unity Party, you should not have a say.
the running behind a speaker who is not in your party.
You were never you were never with the CDC, and the CDC did business with you. Did you anticipate that would have been the situation with the Unity Party?
Yeah, so again, let them make mistakes. It's not about doing business with me or an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get that clear. So when I talk about because for example, if I really want individually something to do in the UP, I tell you I can get it.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot of colleagues there, and I have certain competence that
Are you sure you would have gotten it?
Probably. Maybe not, but probably. But what I'm saying is that it's not about whether I get something or not.
Okay.
That is not my interest. You know, on a personal level, I mean, we can do our thing. We're okay. It's not a problem. But I am stepping forward with a new perspective.
Okay.
I think that's the road destiny has pushed some of us at this point to introduce such a discussion. This discussion probably happening, but we're giving it currency. But I'm saying, I don't probably have questions, but I'm saying that if we say we want to take this, because it's clear we all, let's be honest, we all are not satisfied with our country.
There are challenges. The government is struggling on fighting drugs, which was a very critical campaign.
There are challenges. That's why euphemistic we are saying is just a big problem. We say challenges, but I'm just saying it. We have a lot of problems. We're not satisfied as a country where we are right now.
Which I know.
Yes.
And some of those problems are issues that you're flagging.
Yes.
You've been very critical on the government. Now somebody is saying, do you need to be a CDC partisan to be this critical? To identify the flaws in the system? Did you have to take up CDC membership to do so?
Maybe there were the wide range of possibilities. Well, joining CDC is one of the possibilities. I don't see it as a problem because I think the CDC, again, I made a point. I think the CDC has a unique place to play in the progress and development of this country. You know, it's a mass-based party.
Okay.
You know, you have a lot of course, great Liberians on there. George Weah, no doubt. No one can argue that. Wherever you come from, that George Weah is not, you know, an iconic Liberian, someone who has committed his life towards the progress of this country.
Okay.
No human being is perfect, but I can tell you, you know, he has a heart to try to help his country move forward. Now, is it about George Weah? No. Now, we're talking about the future of the country. George Weah is going to be an important part in that discussion, no doubt. But I'm saying here that the CDC being a party, you know, with a revolutionary outlook, with that degree of openness, with that degree of inclusivity, with that humility, I think there's not a lot of humility in the Unity Party. Again, not talking about calling one person in there, talking about open to a new perspective.
Generally.
Yes. I'm talking about open to a new agenda for the future. I think they're stuck into an old agenda. And the old agenda and the old approach they're talking to, I suggest here, cannot take this country to the next level of prosperity.
Now, talking about the UP not being open up, when the CDC came to power, we saw a particular situation where President Weah issued a statement and he said, don't dismiss people because they are not CDCians.
Yes.
I'm not the president of CDC. I'm the president of Liberia.
Yes.
If he is a Unity partisan and got a job, keep him there. We saw President Weah appoint James Emmanuel Nukwe, who was the vice senator on the UP ticket. We saw that with Harrison Conway from the Liberty Party, Alexander Dopo from the ALP. So we saw a lot of other ministers that President Salif, you know, that served under the Ellens administration the last term. They still kept their jobs. Mary Broad, Sam Lulu, the rest of the people, including Mawani Dixon and other people. Is that what you expected the Unity Party to have done? Is that what you continue to call, you know, revolutionizing the stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So what Joshua did was good. It was symbolic.
Okay.
You know, it was a way of symbolically saying, I have no insecurities. You know, here we need to bring all Liberians together for the national agenda. So that was symbolic. That was good. But what I'm also suggesting is something deeper than that. And I think,
do you think it's about insecurity or is about ensuring that they protect what they labor for? Because there are CDCians who I know who had serious problem with President Weah keeping those who they refer to as people who fought them. For example, a CDCian wanted to have gone to the airport and President Weah sent Nukwe there. For them, that was not good, you know, on their part. It caused them to be disenchanted in their own government. The Unity Party thought not to take the same risk, and you call that being selfish.
I think my point is getting missing in translation.
Okay.
My point is not about appointing a particular individual from UP or particular individual from CDC. That's not specifically what I'm saying. What I'm saying here, for example, is if in this new era, if we were to move forward as a country, we need a leader And I think the Union Party lacks that. We need a leader who is able to remain open about possibilities of including perspective from all suasions, from all walks of life.
Okay.
And a president who will not say the only thing that is right here is what we think as a unity party.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Can you give
because
instances?
sometimes if you do that, then you cut yourself off from all the creative perspectives that is possible
away from
the progress of the country.
Away from the speakership, the speaker saga. Can you reference anything of such that the UP government has been involved with?
That's been involved with
relative to your issue of they being conserved and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, so for example, I talked something about the model.
Okay.
I talk about the approach, right? They don't have to bring anybody on, but let's even investigate the approach. The approach I'm suggesting is still conservative, is still an approach that was only valid for 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
In terms of the place we want to go as a country, we're not 10, 15 years ago, we're in 2025. We have new challenges. So I'm telling you, the Union Party is applying a 10-year-old strategy on a new evolving problem that is not going to work. Why it's not going to? It's not working and it's not going to. Why is it not going to work? Because they're conservative and stuck in an old way. So I'm saying that if they're open enough, if they're creative enough, if they're broad-shouldered enough, they will say, okay, this is what the structure of the budget 10 years ago as we approach it.
Okay.
Are we going to continue structuring financing like that in the budget moving forward? If we say we have agriculture, it creates that opportunity for expansion.
Would the CDC have done that had they won?
Oh, clearly, I think the CDC would have. If they had not done, if they have made a decision after winning not to do that, I will criticize.
Okay.
I will have criticized. I will say, no. This will not take us to where we're going.
Okay.
This is the wrong direction of travel. We can get to our destination by traveling this
road. Is the second budget the rescue government is working on. One would say you are not giving them the chance. Apparently, Minister Gafan is having some backstage preparation to move the country to the model that you anticipate, where energy is not going to be borrowed. We're going to be generally generating energy internally. All of the things you want to happen, perhaps these things are being done behind the scene and you are just not patient enough to wait for those things to start manifesting.
No, development doesn't happen behind the scene. They have a plan, they have a program, and I can see the program and investigate the validity of the program.
Perhaps they are planning.
Yeah. So I can see, for example, if you say roads, infrastructure, electricity, and all those key areas that will unleash and expand the economy, I agree. But what is the approach to it? Now, we have all that deficit there. So if we say we depend on, of course, you're not going to depend on free international money. Those days are gone.
Okay.
We're in a Trumpian era. You're not going to get that. If you were going to get that, it doesn't really take you to where you want to go.
Okay.
Right? And all that approach. So if the Minister of Finance or Joe Barker comes to me, his policy people comes to me and say, look, we understand the old approach. It has worked only very marginally. It hasn't really taken it, but this is a new radical transformative approach to dealing with this problem.
Okay.
We're either going maybe to capital market, we're going to Asian markets, we're going to investment bank in Asia and other places, and we're unlocking the potential that is there to raise maybe $2 or $3 or $4 billion to solve our infrastructure issues. This is a bankable plan. This is a project, and we're moving in this direction.
Is that
available? No.
Is it even applicable? Because there was a point in time where the WEA's administration attempted to solve the problems confronting roads. There came the Iboma, Eton, situations. Do you think those the model you're trying to propose, do you think the opportunities
doing it?
The opportunities are available?
I go to Africa all the time. A great deal of expansion in infrastructure, agriculture in Africa is done through private capital.
Perhaps we do not have what is required.
Okay, so we are a government now, and the rescue government came to. If they're not able to do it, as you say, we're not able to do it, then we clear from there. But if they take power, we expect them to solve these problems.
You are a Liberian.
Yeah, we expect them to solve this problem. We can't take excuses. I'm sorry, we can't take it because when we travel to other countries, we see them squeezing water from out of rock to develop the country. Like if you go to Abidjan now, huge, the entire Abidjan is under construction.
Okay.
Right? How is that happening? Because there's a bold new vision towards where we want to go. So I'm saying that in the CDC, that's the role the CDC is destined to play today for the future of this country. We've learned from the past as a party. There were great opportunities. There were progress. I can name some of the great things that have happened. There were blind spots. You know, the party and its leadership are courageous enough. They're not cowards. They're courageous enough to do an analysis of the performance of the government. Say, okay, we probably could have done this better. But for me, that openness, that courage to do that without the guys stuck in the old way is all that we need to make the difference.
And you think
does the United Party have that? I say no.
You're saying no because you are a sedition.
I'm sedition only 24 hours now. I've been sedition before then.
It doesn't change.
And I have some of those views.
Okay.
Yes, I have those views about the United Party. I probably have my crazy in the power of CDC, but I'm telling you now that I'm forward looking. I'm saying, where do we go after 20 years? Who can take us there? Can the United Party take us there? I said no, they can't. Because the model is fraudulent, the model is dysfunctional. They can't go there. I mean, if they put a Minister of Finance there, I will challenge his program, the validity of the program, and his ability to take us there. Right? So that's the point.
The last time President Braga spoke, he said his IRS agenda is being worked on, and it is having some strength from the Pro agenda. I mean, he did not shy away from mentioning that. His IRS agenda is a composition of both the Pro agenda that was left behind by the government that you supported. So if the model that is being used here, if you are saying it is not applicable for the kind of transformation that we desire as a country, then it shows that the Pro agenda was faulty.
Well, I don't remember the president said that. Did he say that?
At the State of the Nation address, I can pull that out where he mentioned. Yeah. I mean, perhaps during the course of the show, I can get that. Okay. But he mentioned where he said the IRS agenda is taking strength from the agenda for transformation, the Pro agenda, then his own era. I mean, he talked about that.
Yeah, but for me, I'm not too fascinated about paper book agenda. There were many agendas for AFT, blah blah blah. Okay, there are many agendas, right? I want to see actions. We have huge we have huge deficit in road infrastructure. Okay, we want to expand. If the government map out all the roads that we need to develop, maybe it's around 3 billion, 4 billion. If the president of the republic comes to me and show me and say, investment, we need to do 4 billion, there's a pathway for 4 billion to close the infrastructure gap on road, then I can discuss. Okay. If you bring a whole encyclopedia to me with words upon words, I have no interest. I mean, because what is the value of that when you're not able to clearly lay out bankable strategy for dealing with the problems, right? That's the thing. You mentioned and they don't have it. There's no industrial strategy. There's no employment strategy. They don't have it.
Apparently, because we do not have those things that are supposed to attract, those investments you keep talking about.
Yeah. So it is the government has to play that magic. It is a magic. They need to perform it, because who are we going to go to solve these structural problems or these big macro level problems? Who? I mean, you can solve it individually. Okay. I can solve it individually. It is the state and the structure, the government structure that needs to solve it. So now, if they keep giving the rice people keep giving those excuse, it means that after 5 years we'll be exactly where we are now.
And you think there's going to be no?
Because they're giving us excuses, right? Or they're giving us solutions that it's obvious to us that it's not going to solve the problem that we have.
A rescue supporter is listening to you and he's concerned. What will Jacob Jara do, for example, to solve the problem, confronting energy, road, peace and security, education? What will you do? I mean, from a broader perspective, you don't have to go into detail.
The first thing we'll do, and I showed that those discussions will happen in the CDC as we move forward a new agenda. Okay. The first thing that will have to be done is we're not getting lost in literature and rhetoric. We're going to say we're mapping all the roads in the country. First thing, how all the roads we need to do will cost it. Probably that have been done already, I believe, a year ago. Maybe we'll update that information. Okay. Say it's 5 billion, for example, or 2 billion, for example.
Where will you get the money from?
There's a lot of money around markets around the world.
To say a lot of money around the world is different from.
If you have a viable project
from sourcing,
listen, as a government, and for me, that's my thing. I have. How are Ivorians being able to do it? $400 million investment
Ivory Coast is
for Port from the airport across the city. They're doing new road infrastructure. You call it a metro. They're doing it.
But Mr. Jala,
it's possible.
Ivory Coast already got. Ivory Coast got up to 70% of their structural issues already fixed. We were fighting war when Ivory Coast started having stable energy.
Yes.
And so you don't want to compare us with Ivory Coast, considering what we have at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you think we have that ability to attract the kind of investment you're talking about?
It is the government responsibility to develop the incentive that will attract that. Not you and myself individually.
Okay.
So I'm saying that if we have, because excuses, we can't tell excuses anymore after 20 years. We can't tell excuses to the next 20 years.
So the CDC will map all of the roads that we need to do the cost.
It's $2 billion. The question will be very clear.
Okay.
The president will ask, Joshua will say, look, we need $2 billion to build this road. What is the strategy? We need a clear strategy.
Why
is it private capital? Is it private investment? Is it PPP? What is it?
Do you have the strategy at the CDC?
No. So that's where I'm starting from. Before you can even go to strategy, you first need to have the foundation.
Okay.
And what is that foundation? The foundation is the degree of understanding, because to do some of these things, we need courage. We need to be courageous.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We need to be very, 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 very clear in our own mind about where we want to go.
Okay.
Right? Not getting distracted. Even our international friends, we have to be very clear and say, look, this is where we want to go as a country, and we're very, very determined to go in this direction. So we need that kind of clarity in the mind of the leader, right? That's one. Two, we also need a leader who is able to rise, to rise above the petty small things. CDC for the UP people, talking to block CDC people because they worry about whether they'll maintain power in 2029, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The new leader who is going to take Liberia in a new direction has to transcend that.
Okay.
That has to be childish toy as far as they're concerned, and focusing on the real issue.
And you think the former president is with their ability?
Yes, I think so. I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that the president, the leadership, not only the president, because listen, moving forward, but what we really need to take our country forward will not only be an inspiring leader. Yes, we need an inspiring leader, but we also need a critical mass.
Okay.
That is going to be around the new leader. Within the CDC, there has to be the critical mass. We all have to upgrade ourselves psychologically, intelligently, to preparing for the new great tax ahead, right? So the leader is there, but even those who are part of that team, not only resident in the CDC, but even other Liberians that are outside of the CDC, in other political parties, in other professional organizations, in other movements around the world, diaspora, all over. Joshua performing that leadership, saying, come together. The CDC, but we're moving beyond that. Come, come, everyone. Let's look at the future of this country.
Beyond the CDC.
I think beyond and above the CDC, about the future of the country. And I think Josh, we are looking at all the possibilities. He's in the right place to do that.
You already joined the CDC. Was it a difficult decision to make?
No, it wasn't difficult at all. Once I was very clear in my mind about my perspective, about where we want to go, all I was looking forward to now was alignment.
Have you been officially with any political party?
No. I've never been with any political party.
So the CDC is your first political party.
First.
There's been a lot of criticisms about the CDC. The party is immature, plenty cheering there. This issue of maturity will continue to happen, and all of it.
Yeah.
Did you hear those things? Did they have any impact on your decision? Did you consider them? Did you take them into consideration?
No, I've heard those criticism, but I don't operate like that.
Okay.
You see, sometimes when people talk down other people, is from the point of view of the ego.
Okay.
Right? Just a feeling of specialness, I'm here, I'm this, I have access to the kind of knowledge, and therefore those who are not, they should be maybe low grade level human beings. So I don't operate like that. I think all human beings have something to offer in this life.
Okay.
And I don't talk down people. I don't think people are, are less than they. No, I don't operate like that. I mean, anyone operating like you, operating from the level of the ego. I think people have perspective. Even the so-called least individual,
okay,
you may not have so-called book learning, have something creative to offer.
Okay.
So I think that opportunity is there within the CDC. And I think, again, that's the point. And I'm speaking with a lot of, leaders in the party, and some of the things that I've heard Mr. We have said. The CDC will continue to expand as a broad church, to bring many more other Liberians on board.
Okay.
To try to really tackle the real issues of our country moving forward. And I think, again, more than anything else, the CDC is faction for that. They tend to have that potential, that level of openness to open up a wide tent, a broad tent of all Liberians coming on board with the idea to moving this country forward. And Josh, I'm 100% believe it is able to perform that leadership, to have a new discussion about a new Liberia going forward. Okay. That for me is so crucial. Very crucial.
Now we're going to be going to the lines in the next couple of minutes, but before we run there, personally for you, I know you talk about your position on the government not being a revolutionary, institution, being conserved. I know you say it is not about your personal stuff, but folks listening to you think you are on a transfer aggression spree. Okay, I'm going to join CDC. Saying they say because I was with CDC Minister Tue says I recently won't give me job, they won't give me consultancy, so I'm going to join CDC. I mean, something you are angry, anger took you to the CDC.
I have no anger. I don't live with anger. I'm a very happy man.
Okay,
I have no anger. I have no conflict in my life.
You sure about that?
Oh yes, I'm always in celebration. I have no problem in life. Zero problem. So I have no anger. Let's be clear about that. 2, we've been like 1.5 years. No one person in the UP government will ever, I'm on the radio now.
Okay.
Will ever call and say, Jacob called me to ask me for the job. I don't do that.
You don't necessarily have to call them. You are a qualified Liberian. I'm told you got two masters, something like that.
Yeah, at least a master's or bachelor's degree.
Okay, fine.
But again, I find it very. I'm always shy trying to talk about myself, to be honest. But I think that it has something to do with me. I'm not angry. I'm not looking for any particular advantage or recognition.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Individually, I'm fine. I can take care of myself, those I'm responsible for. So I'm totally okay on a personal level. But I think there is a higher calling here. I think for me, this is an opportunity to introduce another perspective to the discussion. It may not be, this idea or perspective may not be original even to me. Probably other people are having this discussion already in circles. Probably I'm adding an expressive energy to it on the radio and all of that kind of stuff. But it has precisely nothing to do with me. Anyone who knows me knows that I have no anger. I'm just saying here, and I'm courageous enough to do that, to say, well, we have a particular system, particular model for 20 years. We need an upgrade. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We need an upgrade. We need to move forward. We need to take the next step forward. And I think the strategy, and that's my view, and I think the strategy that has been used over the past time, that is still being used by the Unity Party, cannot work.
Do you talk to the guys in the Unity Party? I mean, one-to-one.
Oh yeah, I speak to a lot of people. Liberia is a small country now.
Okay.
We all go out, we connect at the bar, we hang out and we discuss. A lot of them are friends from the university. Yes.
Were there point in time where you recommended, for example, Mo is at Water and Sewer. Perhaps you have some advanced recommendations. Were there point in time where you made those kind of interventions? If so, what were the responses from the individuals?
Well, we've had some of the discussions in circles before about even Sinko, Merisha, where we sit down and discuss, and I put some of these perspectives forward.
Okay.
And I've said it, I'm a very open man, I'm a free mind. I have no chain around my mind. I think I can speak freely. I've said some of these things that, look, this doesn't work.
Okay.
Right? This will not work. That's my view. Prove me wrong, but I think the evidence is on my side in terms of what we've been doing here and what we need to do going forward. And I have said some of these things. I mean, we'll talk about Speaker Kofa. I think we'll talk about it a lot. I've never met Speaker Kofa in his life. I don't know him. He doesn't know me at all. But I just see the way we approach leadership in this country, with the current, and I can talk about the current leadership, Mr. Bwaka, and the approach. I said, no, this approach for me is dysfunctional.
Okay.
It is not going to take us to where we're going on all of this. We talk about the economy. What is the direction? We have to be able to not say give excuses here and there, or not get reliant, on the IMF, international IMF, World Bank processes. There has to be something radical. There has to be something radical there. And all great leaders who really move the country forward, whether it's the Kagame, I don't like to get an example, about Burkina, or we get many other examples, other places who are taking their country in a new radical direction forward, have always done something special.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you think this government should either do it or they wait and watch CDC do it?
Yeah. They're not doing it right now. They're not doing the special things to get us special results.
Okay.
And I don't think they're in the position to do it. I don't think they're courageous enough to do it. And I don't think they have the depth of recognition and that urgency to do that next radical thing.
Okay.
To move this country forward. And that's why I think, and again, the evidence tend to bear me, witness, that we've seen over the period. So I think that's my suggestion, that going forward, we need something dynamic, we need something fresh, and I think the CDC offer that fresh perspective, for the future of this country.
We've gone 15 months, and that would take us directly to the telephone lines. I have not seen an active, known seditian. I mean, somebody who is known to be a seditian. I have not seen that person being appointed to any crucial role in this administration. I mean, no appointment from the Unity Party. Now, you've made your intentions known. You are now officially a member of the CDC.
Yeah.
If one of the individuals running these entities, for example, Amos Swear will call you and say, look, your credentials got something here that you can work on. As a seditian, will you accept any job offer from this government?
No, man. I'm not looking forward for that. Serious. I'm not looking forward.
It's not about you applying. It's about the people looking at you and identifying your ability, your qualifications.
No, if Amos Swear, for example, I don't want to call people names, but if anyone citizen, ask for my counsel and my view about something, I'm happy to share.
No, they don't want it that way. They want you come.
No, I don't want to work.
You don't want to work.
No.
Is it because
I have something doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I have something doing. I have a practice. I'm a consultant. I individually, I'm okay. I do my thing. I'm fine with that. I'm not, and I want to be busy with the CDC. To be honest,
okay.
I want to spend most of my time in the policy arena there, trying to support the party, chart a new course. I want to play my small role. So to do that. That's what I want to be busy with for the next 4 to 5 years.
It is zero on any job offer.
No, I don't want to work in government right now. Yeah, I want to be busy with the work at the CDC. I think that will crowd out my time, plus my own private consulting work that I do, my private practice, plus policy work I want to commit hours to at the CDC, working there, trying to work for the next 4 to 5 years doing that. That's what I want to be focused on.
Okay.
Trust me.
He's Jacob Jara, joined the CDC on yesterday with several other Liberians. He has been our guest. According to him, the model, the approach this government is having will not take Liberia to where we want to take it. He's thinking that we are cosmetic in our approach as a country. He will need a more robust approach in attracting the development that we need as a people and country. In addition to that, the CDC, in his mind, is the only political institution that he believes is with the ability to attract that particular model, to look for those particular opportunities that can move this country forward. We'll take this quick break. When we come back, we go to the lines and hear your input. Then we go back to Mr. Jala for his parting comments. Let's take this break to be right back.
Introducing Young Jim Beer from Beijing. Yanjing, the newest sensation in town. Yanjing beer is so smooth and light. You can drink it without enough money, feeling very energized. And you wicked boy, the woman will be very happy. No headache, no eye spinning. And the Yanjing beer bottle, it got a special way again open. Nobody will ever use you for the opener again. Very easy. Yanjin beer can be found wholesale or retail at Exeter and Tongo Water, and also in supermarkets or bars around you. Reward yourself by drinking Yanjin beer, and trust me, you will be ready to go.
Okay, Yanjin Beer, Crime Stoppers Liberia, Old Men Samson are all partners of Freedom Radio Liberia and Freedom Hub in particular. Let's take our callers now. Jala is in studio. Jacob Jala, the big stick man. I don't know if the stick is at CDC headquarters at the moment, but call us on 0866 500 104 0776 104 104. And those of you in the diaspora can join us on +231 86 500 104 +231 86 500 104. Let's take the first batch of calls here on 87.9. This person, go ahead. Let's hear you. How you doing?
How you doing, my brother?
We're great, my dear brother.
Yeah, the official spokesperson for the liberation movement. Or somebody will say, why you got to? Why you face you got to fry? I got infinity thing. All the parties in the abroad, what government, they are telling our people, Liberian people, so that well-being must be met. Those who are official. And what I want to say, let me say thanks to the guy. Like I said yesterday, in that kind of job, and when you look at it, in that kind of job, because the party is in power now. You see? So you want to really with the party to see that you can bring expertise. Okay. And then you can also go. Even the citizens are not doing one for all people. You got to give them and people behind them. So we need people that will count on the board to see that and make it better for the party that when it comes to power tomorrow, everything will be okay with the citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Will and Javi Wulu. We leave you right there. Let's go over to the lines and take more and more of the callers here. Let's talk to this person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Guy, this is David King. Thank you. Let me say more even to Jala.
Go ahead.
Yeah, comrade, thank you for coming over. You know, we need people like you in this political trying times. As a matter of fact, the CDC has been having a lot of political conversation in the corridor with people like you and other comrades. But we are fair to the people. The Parker did not come to the presidency with any technical know-how how to move this country forward. And that's why he said in his State of the Nation address that he had read the agenda was built on the pillars of the corporate agenda for prosperity and development. He's on record for saying that. So that is just to tell you that Joseph Parker came to this country as a president who had no idea to run a state like Liberia, and they were there criticizing the land of Samuel Square.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the articulation this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. Let's talk to this other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Good evening, Oliver. Fine. Fine. How are you?
We're great. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and let me say good evening to Jacob. You see, I think any Liberians who want to see the government of Liberia, I want to see Liberia moving forward with join hands with the CDC to help Liberia. I think most of the people that don't have alcoholic in this country, they are seeing that the broken law administration will actually came to power to empower people, not to build the country. You see, the whole millions of dollars are there to remove the speaker. If you look at that place, there are schools around the country that I don't have students. And the building is not correct. If you look at it, they are using millions of dollars to build houses, to buy cars, we are not pretty fucking well in the future. But any reasonable person who wants to be the best speaker of Liberia, they come to bring the citizens to help with this.
Okay.
Let me say welcome to Jala for coming on board with this. Nathan Party, I see it's not a model to but it's not so if that is the party today, there will be a big move of very important They don't want to do that. But because they are open.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. We'll leave you. Let's talk to this other caller. Mine CC is on the line. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you for taking my call. Shout out to my son, Jacob Ghana.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say thank you for the show. And one thing is they are getting angry. You okay?
Why?
Why you want to push a man on the wall? Ghana did it.
But is the man complaining?
I'm complaining for him now. But for in the show, you want to push him down. Want to say something? You want to say on the show? Comfort him to say things. That's what I say.
Go ahead.
You know what you want. You know what he learned. You call it out of back from me. I know about from. I'm gonna start to help our people do what to get job to Ghana. Ghana for the city out of power, and he keeps to it. He not right for wrong. Then you ask his when they call you for a job. What kind of job? They call Ghana for, and you go there. What I say, you don't call my phone for, and you go there. He's not a wicked, and he's not a good. He's not bad good. You understand? The people said he was sitting there before he want to play chess to catch John. And the next you tell him that around nobody before. You understand? If you have a job, they making the power they say you're not the country, but today they're going to drive to 3-4 pieces. You understand? And you want my son to go get a job? Come on, see my son, okay, stop it. Don't put my son in the water, you're going to stay on the show. They may not be well for the country. They see me well for the country. So both of them, but they stay. They were bad for them and they moved there, they will be their way. They don't want job for them. You want job, so when they call you for a job, you know, willing, but people are willing for job.
That question test you?
That test me why any someone I don't I stop for you on the show.
You are on a vet because you don't want the people to job the man with job.
Who man I want the no, me tell you something, you let me need job for the people. People are very wicked. Let me tell you now. Then they posted they will get for job. People are working in rest of worker. They will get job for the city angle. Show me there.
Okay.
They will pass all car here, trying for job. So they because come on, they nice thing they see. Because come on for there, taking photo. They want to pay for job for. You want to follow go tell you say. Today, I'm working at 2 when they call you for a job, then they take that job. The moment he said, the thing you do it, when you let me know, you will never it. But then they end. When they get for a job, I'll tell you, I can't read it, but you coming for a job, I will not. But therefore, it's wicked.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We leave you right there. We'll take the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Yeah, Mr. Khan, this is Sunshine Benita Western. We say one of Liberia legitimate owners that's drawing you from Central Virginia, and I'm fine.
Go ahead.
Let me say kudos to your studio guest, Mr. Jara, and I want to give him a revolutionary right hand salute. You know, Mr. Khan, people who cross over for personal reason, this is not the time to do it politically. Okay. People who is taking the train that Mr. Jara is taking, they are patriots. The one that you see crossing over 1 year, 2 years, those are the people who do it because they want to satisfy their personal aggrandizement. We need more of Mr. Jara in the CDC. The only thing I want to say here to him, Mr. Jara, there is a culture of complacency with us in the CDC. He must stand up against it. We feel too satisfied. Oh, the people failing. So all the mandate 2029 are us. That is a foolish notion. Let's stop it. Let's prepare ourselves. Let's get in the communities. Let's put on our boots, get in the trenches. Try to get the people reason why George Weah is the emancipator and the only redeemer of the republic. Okay. They just sit down under the Sacrament tree and do the kind of thing. So once again, I want to say kudos to Mr. Jara. I salute him. I respect him. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We take the last caller, then we go to Mr. Jara for his parting comments. You're the last person on the line. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Philip.
Okay, you need to reconcile with your auntie. I don't know what's going on.
Forget all myself.
Okay, on the issue of Jacob Dara, you are welcome to CDC, but we need men like you in the CDC. Although some of us, we are not physicians, but we support WEA. But we need men like Jacob Dara to strengthen CDC.
But he was like you. He was never in the CDC, and he supported WEA. Today he thought to join the CDC.
Yeah, the reason we are saying I want Jacob Dara to do something, do me a favor by helping our coach then. And let us forget about this too much press conferences. We are done press conferences. Let us take action because we
Okay.
Because what we are seeing in the past, the Unity Party, in fact, politically fought PDC, and they took power. And now we are seeing judicial, they are acting that statistically every day at the headquarters. We are down that. In fact, lastly, since we lost the election, PDC never cleared our community to tell the people thank you. I think they need to reconsider. Thank you.
Okay, we leave you right there. We'll go back to you, Mr. Jala.
Yes.
You heard the people.
No, thanks. I think yeah, those were great comments. I'm happy that more of partisans are welcoming me. I feel at home, and I can guarantee you, yes, I'm available. I'm at the service of this organization, and we'll be there, to share our ones and twos, in terms of policy programs, and share our counsel about, constructing the new Liberian agenda. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. He's Jacob Jala, the newest Citizen. That's what I would say. Right here, closing in on his appearance following the official membership acquisition at the level of the CDC. Princess Alexa Vanjakoli was here. My name is Khan Oliver Kine. I bid you farewell to return on tomorrow, which is the midweek's edition. Until then, have a wonderful time. Bye bye from my end.
Not just a funny pool. Once you not get no money, rest and show your kids get poor.